really does improve the efficiency by 30%.
Wow. Let's go inform our manager.
The two engineers have just made a very important discovery. They have found out that implementation of Oxylium in batteries increases their performance by 30%. They will now go inform their managers, who will request a meeting with the client, Roxon, in order to discuss these findings.
So you are telling me that your scientists have discovered a new element that could help the batteries of my company? Can you tell me more about that?
Yes, exactly. This new element, Oxylium, when added to the battery's chemicals, increase its energy supply by 30%. Take a look at the results.
Here you go.
This looks great. If all goes well, the project would be very beneficial for the both of us. What are the next steps and what's the schedule looking like?
Because this element is new, we still have to do some more tests. So give us 2 weeks and we'll report all our findings to you.
Great. We'll keep in touch.
Dr. Masad, how is it equal to zero? This is highly unusual. This shows that Oxylium is emitting radiation at high rates. This is impossible. The Oxylium is reacting with the lithium. Oh no, they're reacting!
Tabar, this is too dangerous. It's not worth it. Even though the performance is higher, the dangers are too big. The amount of radiation is not normal. We should stick to normal batteries.
We should inform our manager.
You're right.
Here, the engineers have discovered that although the use of Oxylium is highly efficient, it causes very high pollution. Engineers have active responsibility, which falls within the professional responsibility to be forward looking into the engineering ideals. Here, the conflict is between the engineering ideal of technical enthusiasm and responsibility against the engineering ideal of peace and sustainability.
This radical design here poses an environmental and health risk. By adopting a utilitarian perspective, the engineers have realized that this project has more disadvantages than benefits. And also, by realizing that traditional alternatives are still in play, they have decided to go inform their manager.
Hello, boss. We have some sad news to tell you. After 2 weeks of experimentation, I don't think we can continue with the implementation of Oxylium. It turned out to be a highly polluted material, and it would cause a lot of danger to society.
Listen, can you read this? I'm the boss and I make the decision. Roxon is the oldest and most loyal customer. And as I told you in the meeting before, this project is really important to our company. So you both make sure that you don't put your findings about pollution in your reports, and I will make sure that you both get promoted and get your bonus. How about that?
As we see here, the manager has asked and bribed the engineers in order to proceed with the project. In addition to bribery, he also asked to omit the results from the report, which is a case of false witnessing. From an ethical ingredient point of view, this is morally acceptable. The manager has asked and pursued to proceed with the project in order to get a huge amount of money. However, from a categorical imperative point of view, this is wrong and morally unacceptable.
Indeed, under the categorical imperative point of view, and more specifically under the universality principle, this is wrong. If you take the maxim, you can lie in your reports in order to satisfy your needs, and assume that everyone does this, we can quickly see that the world would turn into chaos. As everyone is now lying in the reports have no longer value, which means that the action is now undermined, which is a self-contradiction. However, if we take the opposite of this maxim, which is you cannot lie in your reports to satisfy your needs and assume that everyone does this, neither the objective nor the action are undermined, which means that this is permissible and hence this is obligatory.
We will now see two scenarios representing what the engineers will do.
You know what? The boss must be right. Plus, if this was such a big issue, our other co-workers would have raised it too. Forget it. If I push this further, the boss will fire me. Let me just take the money and my promotion.
As we can see here, in this case of clear conflict, the engineer did not pick the right thing to do. This is out of fear, groupthink, self-deception, and uncritical acceptance of authority. By taking the bribe and lying in the report, the engineer is now breaking both NSPE 2.5.b as well as NSPE 2.3.a. Now that harm has already occurred, this is a case of passive responsibility in which we need to see who is liable.
In terms of liability, the manager and the engineer have shown malicious intent. They had enough mens rea to see that the implementation of this will cause serious harm to the environment and still proceed with it, hence intentionally causing harm. As for the client, this is most likely a case of strict liability, as the client did not have any idea of what just occurred since all of this harm was omitted in the report.
I just tried to resolve this problem internally with my boss, but this is clearly not working. Since I know that serious harm is bound to occur if this concern is not addressed, and my boss had decided not to do anything after informing him, and there is clear evidence of a threat, and I would be most likely be able to prevent the harm if I reveal the threat, I should opt for whistleblowing.
The engineer has done the right thing. After he has just realized that he cannot solve the problem internally, and that all the requirements needed for whistleblowing are fulfilled, he has decided to proceed with whistleblowing, risking the fact that he might lose the job, but knowing that he will be able to save the lives of many.